just from the small sample size of 2.5 games.
That they're twins? Look at this.
They sort of kind of look alike.
Kind of look alike.
There's a full screen on our TV screen for you guys that can't see on radio. There's a picture of Bailey Zappe next to Mac Jones. They do look very
same
similar.
dude. Hold on. If I took one of them, you wouldn't know which one that was.
No, very similar. Very, 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 very similar looking.
Lower
guys.
body type, maybe.
No, Zappe has a better body than Mac Jones to me.
That's what I'm saying.
But that's just me.
That's how you tell the difference.
And so, but when you talk about from a quarterback standpoint, Max, and people jumped all over me when I basically said it's the same guy. Oh, are you crazy? Mac Jones went to the Pro Bowl. Did he really? Mac Jones went to the playoffs. Did he really? Like, meaning, did he lead the team to the playoffs? Did he basically quarterback his way to a real Pro Bowl, or was he the 19th alternate and everybody else didn't want to play, so he got the nod? That's the reality of it. When you look at Dr. Z, as I like to call him, Zappe, it looks better to me from just the eyeball test. The ball comes out faster. It's not herky-jerky.
There's rhythm.
When he goes from 1 to 2 to 3, it's in sync, it's smooth, it's rhythm, and it just looks like, to me. Now, I don't know. I'm not in New England. I'm not playing for them. I'm not in the building. I didn't get it from Belichick. Didn't get it from his staff. It just looked like the team is more comfortable with Dr. Z running the point.
Man, and by the
That's
way,
what it looks like.
Someone who is in New England, because I think Mac Jones could be a very good quarterback. I just don't think he is right now. Zappe looks better to me right now.
But what happens is because Mac Jones is a first-round pick.
Right, of course.
Everybody looks at that and they go, remember that my whole theory, when you are one, everybody's going to get you the benefit of the doubt versus somebody that's not drafted in the first round.
It has a huge influence on perception. All right, so someone who is in New England, of course, is Mike Reiss, ESPN Patriots reporter. Mike, you heard us. Did you hear what we were just talking about with about Zappe and you did, and Mac Jones? Mike is nodding yes. What do you think? Like, Key is here sitting here going, yeah, it looks better with Zappe. I'm saying maybe Mac Jones will be a good quarterback, but he isn't right now, and Zappe looks pretty good to me. What's the mood around the facility?
There's a lot in this conversation, guys. It's a great conversation, in my opinion. I think it's not a controversy in terms of I truly believe, and what I hear from everyone around the team is that this is still Mac Jones's job. But what it's become is a conversation because Bailey Zappe has played really well, sort of keeping the seat warm, if you will, until Mac comes back. And the conversation, guys, is, you know, they were trying to get Mac back on the field, and if he's 80%, 85% with this high ankle sprain, maybe you wait a little longer until that number becomes closer to 100%, because Bailey Zappe has played well enough to maybe buy you more time.
Mike, the two games were against the Lions and the Browns, just to put into context, right? I want to ask you what you make of this, because I heard this yesterday when I listened to Breer talk, when he was saying that Mac Jones is more of a why guy, right? Like, why are we bringing in a defensive coordinator as my OC when obviously Josh McDaniels and I had a good rhythm and we got to the playoffs the year before? Why are we changing the playbook? Why are we bringing in Joe Judge, a guy that was special teams at one place and a head coach, now as my quarterback coach? I typically have seen, playing for a legend myself and Coach K, that when you start asking a lot of why questions to guys like that, typically doesn't do well for you or bode well for you overall.
Wow. So, Jay, I'm not sure what was said is a totally fair characterization as to the way that Mac views everything that unfolded here. That being said, we were all asking these questions. It was very unconventional what Bill Belichick decided to have Matt Patricia, whose primary background was on defense, take over the offense, to have Joe Judge, who's never coached quarterbacks, be the quarterback's coach. So it would only be natural if you were asking why. The one thing that I would say from being around the team is, like, Mac was voted a captain. He was traveling around the country to go throw with all his receivers. He's taken a lot of ownership here to try to make it work. So I think I would push back on any sort of characterization that Mac wasn't necessarily on board with what was happening. He might have been questioning, is this the best thing for us? But I think he came to sort of a moment where he's like, well, this is what it is, and I'm going to go try to make the best of it. That's my read of it from being around here every day.
Yeah, you've been around there every day for a very long time, and you kind of followed my lead on standing out in front of Gillette Stadium many, many years ago, and you've continued that, which I certainly appreciate, Mike. When you look back in history, and we've had these conversations, obviously recently with Dak Prescott and Cooper Rush, but we all know that Dak Prescott was certainly getting his job back when he was 100% healthy, no matter what Cooper Rush did, because there was a lot of money involved, and it's his team. A little bit different in New England from my point of view. When I look at the past, and I look at Drew Bledsoe, Tom Brady, and you mentioned the fact that Mac Jones, 80% may not be good enough, if, in fact, Dr. Z, as I like to call him, continues to win, and I'm talking about winning 3, 4, 5 games from now, and Mac Jones is ready to go, do we see a repeat of Tom Brady, Drew Bledsoe, or Mac Jones back in the lineup?
Key, with Bill Belichick, I never rule anything out. I would be surprised at that. I thought Jay made a really good point when he said, let's not forget these last 2 games were against the Lions and the Browns, 2 of the lower-rated defenses in the NFL. The Patriots have had to play a certain style with Bailey Zappe. They've never trailed, which has been important, so they've always stayed on schedule, have been able to stay with the running game, set up play action, keep it easy for Bailey Zappe. That being said, I don't want to take anything away from Zappe. He's played very well.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.